Hmm? Okay, so good day everyone. So just a short recap. So during our prelims period, we have discussed mathematics as a science of patterns, wherein we explore a lot of patterns, and then we explain mathematics. Why is it that mathematics is a science of pattern? And during midterms, we have discussed mathematics as a language, wherein we encountered symbols and then translating English statements papunta sa mathematical symbols and mathematical symbols papunta sa English sentences or English statements. And then during the semifinals period, we have discussed or we have explored mathematics as a problem-solving tool. O kaya ito yung suggested ni George Polya wherein we have the 4-step problem-solving strategy na pwede natin gamitin in solving problems, specifically mathematical problems. So this time, we are going to explore mathematics as a data management tool. Okay? So, few years from now, if you continue with your studies on tertiary level, or even after you graduate, wherein you will be engaged into master's degree o kaya naman doctor's degree. So, makaka-encounter kayo ng mga subject na magkakaiba ng pangalan, pero basically ang gagawin is research. We have the thesis, research, or dissertation. And one thing that you will be using, of course, when dealing with data is statistics. That is why statistics is already presented since then. Okay? You have your statistics subject during your senior high school years, and then yung mga natutunan ninyo sa statistics, you were able to apply it in basic research because you already have your practical research 1 and 2 during your senior high school. And same thing, gagawa kayo ng sarili ninyong research or dissertation wherein i-apply ninyo yung napag-aralan ninyo base sa kung anong kurso ang kinuha ninyo. So, whether it is criminology, nursing, engineering. Yan. So, gagawa kayo ng thesis. And because you are going to, thesis. And since you are going to deal with your thesis, of course, you need to be familiar of the basic knowledge of what is statistics. Ano? So, isa nga sa nag-research noong 2010, itong si Ross at saka si Zimmerman. So, sabi ni Ross at saka ni Zimmerman, napag-alaman nila sa kanilang research, noong 2010, that one factor contributing to young people's physical inactivity is the use of internet. Hindi na daw masyadong nai-involve ang tao sa mga physical activities. It is because we are now inclined more on the use of internet. Usually ang time natin nauubos in browsing the social media, the TikTok videos, the reels on Facebook, and even on YouTube. So, previous research has illustrated that there is a decrease in physical activity and it is associated with more time spent on the internet. So, yun yung pag-aaral ni Ross at saka netong si Zimmerman noong 2010. So, the question is, do you agree that the time spent using the internet decreases physical activity? Yan. So, magkakaroon tayo ng iba-ibang klaseng sagot. For example, yung mga engineering and nursing, since they are more inclined into academics, so siguro, ang isasagot nila is, yes, they do agree na dahil merong internet, hindi na sila masyadong nai-involve sa mga physical activities like sports, like morning jogging o kaya morning walk sa mga park, hindi katulad noon. Even yung mga bata ngayon, they are more inclined on using gadgets and mobile games. Yan. Wherein, pagdating sa mga courses o mga students wherein taking up courses like criminology, based sa experience ko kasi ikinandak ko itong research na ito. Short research lang for the sake of discussion. Yung mga criminology students, hindi daw sila agree. Why? It is because halos everyday along with the use of internet, they still have this physical activity. They have time going to the gym, having their physical exercise. They have this daily routine na kailangang palakasin yung kanilang pangangatawan kasi kailangan yun sa kanilang course, sa kanilang profession. So, ibig sabihin, magkakaiba tayo ng perception or magkakaiba tayo ng sagot. Kung tatanungin tayo, ngayon bang 2024, ganun pa din na affected pa din ba ng use of internet yung ating physical activity times? So, magkakaiba tayo ng sagot, depende kung anong interest natin. So, dahil magkakaiba tayo ng sagot, doon papasok ngayon yung statistics or pag-aaral ng statistics. Ano ba talaga? Apektado ba ng internet o hindi? Okay, so yung pag-aaral ni Ross at ni Zimmerman noong 2010, oo daw. Pero ngayon 2024, we don't know. Kasi study is not yet conducted to answer this particular question. So, paano sasagutin yung tanong? It is through the use of statistics. So, ano nga ba si statistics? Yan, tingnan natin kung ano si statistics. Okay, so statistics is the science that involves the collection, organization, summarization, presentation, and interpretation of data. Yan. So, lahat, when you have already the information that you have, lahat ng gagawin mo sa data, they involve what we call statistics. So, ano nga ba si data? Ito yung nakuha mong information nung ikaw ay nag-survey, nanguha ng mga records or record keepings. Pwedeng yung data mo is a result from an experiment. Yung data mo or information, it can be taken through an interview. Yan. So, maraming way on how you can gather data. So, these are the recordings that are processed and are used in reasoning and explaining current conditions. So, yun nga. Kung gusto nating alamin kung talagang affected ng time na gumagamit tayo ng internet, affected ba nun yung time na dapat na i-involve tayo sa physical activity? So, ibig sabihin, kailangan nating mangalap ng data or factual information. So, para masagot natin yung certain questions like the one that we have mentioned a while ago. Okay? So, going back with the definition of statistics, we have two branches. So, as you can see, we have descriptive and inferential. Okay? So, we have descriptive and inferential. So, kapag descriptive, ito yung correct me if I'm wrong, descriptive research is being conducted during your grade 11, yan. Practical research 1 or research in daily life 1. Yan. So, si descriptive statistics, ito yung part ng statistics wherein you are going to collect, you are going to organize, you are going to summarize, and present the data. So, ganun lang. I-collect mo, i-organize, summarize, and present the data. Wala kang ibang gagawin. Okay? So, for example, gusto kong malaman ang test scores ng section na ito. Okay? So, ang gagawin ko lang, kukunin ko yung mga result ng test questions, ililista ko, and then, siguro papasunod-sunodin ko from lowest to highest or from highest to lowest. And then, afterwards, I'm just going to present the data. So, yun lang. And then, I will be describing, yung mga scores ng estudyante ko on this section, they were able, a lot of students got a higher score. O kaya, a lot of students got lower score. So, ganun lang. I-describe mo lang kung ano yung data. But when it comes to drawing conclusions or you interpret ano ba yung patungkol sa data na yun, ano ba ang pwede nating other information na makuha from those data. So ibig sabihin, that is the moment that you apply inferential statistics. So basically, kapag ikaw ay if you are already interpreting, if you are already drawing inferences and conclusion, ibig sabihin, you are already doing what we call inferential statistics. Okay, so yun yung main na pagkakaiba nila. Sa descriptive, i-collect mo lang, i-organize, i-summarize, and then afterwards, you present, you describe. Okay? But when it comes to inferential, you are going to draw conclusion. Example, maraming estudyante yung nakakuha ng mataas na score doon sa examination. Example lang. So, ano ang mga pwede nating conclusion? Pwedeng conclusion, una, magaling magturo yung teacher. Sample lang. Yan. Pangalawa, matatalino yung estudyante. O pangatlo, pwedeng maging conclusion natin, pwede na yung exam ay napakadali. Ano? Nakukuha ang ibig kong sabihin? I hope yes. Yan. So again, when you are drawing conclusions already and inferences out of the data that is collected, organized, summarized, and presented, ibig sabihin, you are already doing what we call inferential statistics. Okay? Ngayon, there are instances na meron kang gustong malamang information, pero hindi mo pwedeng tanungin lahat. Halimbawa, gusto kong malaman kung ano ang paboritong snacks ng mga first year student ng NCF. Nako, madami yun, 20,000 students. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ko sila matatanong isa-isa kung ano ang favorite nilang snacks. So, ano ang gagawin ko as a statistician or as a researcher? So, ang gagawin ko, of course, gagamit lang ako ng sample. Okay? So, itong sample na ito is a subset of the population. Ibig sabihin, small portion lang ng population. So, ano yung population ko? Yung entire first year student ng NCF. So, dahil 20,000 yan, more or less 20,000, napakadami. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ko sila pwedeng tanungin lahat. Mahihirapan ako kung tatanungin ko sila lahat. But then, what can I do is get a subset. Konti lang. Halimbawa, from 20,000, tatanungin ko lang is 200 students. So, that 200 students is randomly sampled. Ibig sabihin, basta ko lang pinag-pick. So, pwede yun. These 200 students can represent the 20,000 population. Okay? So, in statistics, if you cannot consider the entire population, you can deal with the subset of the population na ang tawag natin ay sample. Okay? So again, that is the definition and introduction to to statistics. Okay, so what are the topics that we will be covering for the finals? Kasi hindi natin madidiscuss, napakahaba ng discussion when it comes to statistics. We will be just be dealing with those important topics or initial topics that na magagamit ninyo as you go on with your study or as you conduct your research. Sigurado itong basic knowledge na ito ay magagamit ninyo. Okay, so ano yung mga topics na kailangan nating i-cover? So, una is, of course, measure of central tendency. Probably, familiar kayo neto. But we are going to refresh ourselves. Ano ba itong measure of central tendency? And then we are going to discuss about the measure of dispersion. And of course, lastly, the measure natakpan na. Of course, yung measure of relative position. Okay, so tatlo lang ang ating pag-aaralan. So bago natin i-explore itong tatlong measures na ito, measure of central tendency, dispersion, at relative position, of course, kailangan muna nating i-explore ano ba yung data? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng data? Paano nito matutulungan ng ating research? Okay?